Hello, welcome back to another video. Today, as you can see, I'm working on the Nissan. Just want to do a little bit of tidying up on the front of the actual engine block. There's some paint peeling off, so I'll actually strip that off if I can and paint it black. So let's grab some tools and we'll get started. Putting this light in so it makes it a little bit easier to see. All the red paint is actually flaking off from the actual black. The original black here is Pore 15. I know sometimes you can have adhesion problems if you don't use the correct etch or key this up properly, and I think that's what's happening here. This is an engine enamel that's just peeling off as the engine gets hot. So I think I'm going to remove the manifold here, the full branch and the exhaust, because I've got to do some work on that anyway, and I think I'm going to actually clean all this red paint off as best I can, and I think I'm going to just paint the entire block black. Clean up the serial number there as well. That'll look a little bit better. Just to generally tidy it up a little bit, because I think from there looks really messy and untidy. So I think I'll just generally tidy it up a bit and make it look a little bit cleaner and nicer. And it's probably distract your eye away from the actual engine block anyway. With it being black, it might just set it back a little bit. So first things first is get the jack out, get the car up in the air, so I can get underneath and remove the actual full branch. And then we'll have a look at the paint on the actual engine block, see if I can clean as much of that off as possible. As you can see, the manifold's off, bit of a struggle. I had to lower the actual cross member down a little bit just to get it off. It's quite a tight fix, it's custom made. So we're working in my light today. Now what I've got to do is try and scrape some of this paint off. The old paint here, it's coming off quite easily. I'm going to get as much of this off as I can. And then I'm going to go over with just some general black paint, I think, because the Pore 15's held up really well. I should have just left the Pore 15 on there, I think that would have been fine. I wanted a red block originally, but with this peeling off all the time, it's just not looking very pretty, so I think I'm definitely going to just paint it black, and then it should hide it, and it'll also take your eye away from some of the red. There's quite a lot of red in this engine bay. I just want to be a bit more subtle with it, I think. But gives me a chance to clean all this up as well. The gasket held up pretty well. There's the new gasket, that's quite good. So there's no actual main leaks from there. Maybe a slight one there. But I could put a bit more gasket sealant on that next time, I think. Glue it all back together. Now, I think I'm going to get the Y brush out, scrapers, whatever, get as much of this off as I can. And then I'll get the black paint out and give it a nice coat of black gloss, I think. Maybe, yeah, I'll mask off silver bolt there because that's stainless. I'll mask that off as well. Let's see if I can get this off as best I can. Right, it's been a couple of hours of sanding and wire brushing. Got most of the actual red off. Still some underneath, but I'm not too worried. Because most of it's hidden by the manifold. It's just this area around here that was the main area that kept showing and breaking off. That's just Rust-Oleum black paint. It's a matte black, so when it's dry it will go to a nice matte satiny finish, which is quite a nice sort of finish. It'll just make the engine block look a little bit more subtle and less lumpy and bits and pieces. You can see where there's some rust bits and pieces. You can't actually get the engine block completely smooth unless you spend hours and hours flattening it and smoothing it before paint. So I'm quite happy with the way that looks. It's quite a nice bit glossy, but that should go a little bit more matte as it dries. The top of this sump there is again a little bit lumpy. I did spray some Lanagard on the underneath of the actual car, and all it seems to have done is attract dirt at the moment, because I don't know if you can see them. I'll just show them the cross member here. This is with the Lanagard on here. It just attracts the dirt a little bit. So maybe I didn't clean it properly first, or I don't know. But anyway, I've taken this off the cross member, so I'm going to give that a good clean. I may even repaint that. Keep that red, I think. But yeah, that job pretty much done. I'm just going to wait for it to dry. The actual engine mount here, which is in red. Let's get the light here. The engine mount there, which is still in red, I'm going to leave red. I am going to try and get the bolts out at some point and see if I can polish them up. Put some stainless replacements in. Same with the alternator bolt. There's quite a long bolt there, so I'll have to get a specialist one done for that, I think. There's a little bit of paint flaking off the back of that in red, so I might be able to just touch that in by hand with a paintbrush just to neat it up. Half of these things you don't even see, and you know, it's just for look's sake rather than performance, but I like to make it look nice, and it pleases me messing about in my shed, getting things done. So like I say, leave that to dry. While that's drying, I'll another go at the engine manifold, see if I can cure that little leak where the V-band joins together. Right, so the manifold's all back on. I've just got to attach it to the main part of the exhaust underneath yet. I've ground all the actual inside of the lip of the actual V-band as well, so that should actually clamp up nicely now. I've redone the gasket as well, resealed it, make sure it's all nice and tight, and some nice bolts on there as well. This manifold is actually starting to rust again already, but goes through a few heat cycles. It's inevitable, your paint's going to burn off, because this is only just VHT. I'd love to get this ceramic coated or chromed. Chromed would be perfect, really a nice glossy finished, or even get one made in stainless and then I can polish up. But that's for a long time away. I've got other things to do first. Of the engine block, I think you'll agree, it looks a lot nicer, a lot cleaner, more subtle. I'm quite pleased with the actual finish. It's got that nice sort of satiny finish to it. I did do one of the actual engine mount bolts. I don't know if you can see that down there. I'll just put the light on here. I did the one of the bolts of the actual engine mount there, polished that in stainless. I've got this one to do yet, but they were a pig to get out, and I really do not want to go too mad and shear it off and have a whole problem of tapping it out or whatever. So I'm going to actually chip some of this paint off at some point, soak it full of some penetrating fluid, and then take it out and put another one in, a nice polished one like that. That's just for dressing up. It's not be detrimental to the car if it's polished or not. So yeah, so next thing I do is I'm going to put the exhaust back together, and then it should be this little job done. Right, as you can see, the exhaust's all back on. V-clamp is all nice and tight. I've given the gearbox a bit of a clean up underneath. Still got a little bit to do there. You can just see that. Can't actually see it from where I am, but I can see it on camera, so I'll get under there and do that in a sec. It's all pretty clean and tidy under here. Still got some powder coating I want to get done, but that's all for future stuff. I want to actually get out and drive it this year. So the only thing that's missing now is the main cross brace, which goes from here down to just the back of the car there, underneath somewhere, here somewhere. So I'm going to actually paint that, I think, before I put that on. I've started sanding it, so I'm going to give it a nice coat of gloss red, and then I'll whack that back on and that'll be job done. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave that video here. Face is all red, probably red paint as well. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to call that video here. I think it's all pretty much done underneath there, except for the actual cross member, so I'm going to do that off camera and put that on. The next few videos that are coming up are all going to be Celica videos. You may have seen in a short that I put on recently where I was getting a strange engine noise coming from the right hand side of the engine. I've actually discovered it's actually a water pump that's on its way out, so I'm going to replace the water pump. That's coming up in another video, so that's going to be a nice fun job. And I've also got to do a new cam cover gasket. I've done that previously on a video, but I'll just go over that again quickly. And I've also got to redo all the brake lines at the back. They've all got to be all done for the MOT. I'll be doing all those in copper as well. I've done them all before. It's quite an easy job. It's just time consuming. So I'll probably do that. It's probably 2 or 3 videos worth of material coming up on Celica. I've also, then I'll be able to get back onto the mountain bikes. I've got to finish the other mountain bikes, get all those all finished. Got one more to paint. And then I'll be able to get onto the shed renovations and garage renovations and things like that. Jeez, look a mess. Right, so I hope you've enjoyed this video, just hanging out in my garage with me today. I feel a mess being under the car, but hey, that's working on cars, isn't it? So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, drop me a comment below. Don't forget to like. Most importantly, subscribe, because I'm nearly at 1,000 subscribers now. And I'll see you in the next video.